All right. Well, today we're welcoming Christina Winsky, who has admitted to me that she was. I don't even know. Have you ever listened to Taylor Swift before?
I have, but not
Okay,
this album.
not this album.
Hmm.
So today we're doing Taylor Swift's 2020 recording, which is Folklore. And I want to talk a little bit about it. It was number one Billboard album,
Hmm.
Grammy's Album of the Year. And when
Yep.
she won that, that was the first woman to ever win three times Grammy of the Year. And the day it came out, it was like a surprise release.
Hmm.
80.6 million people streams that day on in one day on Spotify.
Wow.
So folks were looking forward to it. It was written during COVID remotely, and Jack
Yeah.
Antonoff, who is the guy from Bleachers who I love, was one of the producers for this.
Yeah.
So that's a little background. So Christina, what'd you think?
So, just to preface all this, my daughter is a Swiftie, and I took her to see the Red Tour. I think that was 2014-ish.
Uh huh.
And, but I've never sat and listened to an entire Taylor Swift album. And I don't think you can exist in this society of ours without hearing her music or just reading about her and that. So she's just such a cultural phenomenon. But
Yes.
I'm here looking at the music specifically, and I mean, I'll put it in certain analogies. Like my background is kind of misty,
Yes.
rainy day. My first impression of the music was very, you know, rainy day baking cookies and studying music, kind of atmospheric, very moody. Um, the music was very medium to slow tempo pace. Not much variety in terms of the instruments that she used. There's some, you know, uh, some exceptions to that, but overall,
Yeah.
um, I didn't really care for it. And I really wanted to because, like you said, this was an album that kind of, I don't know, kind of turned the tide a little bit in her career. And she, a lot of people who weren't fans became fans. Um, and so I really wanted to like it. You know, she is a talented musician.
Yeah.
I've seen her perform. I mean, you can't deny whether you like her music or not that she's very talented.
Yes.
So I'm not here to hate on Taylor Swift, but I'll just give you my
Yeah.
opinion and what I thought. So,
Now, were
mhm.
there any songs that you did like? I mean, obviously you knew some of them.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I when I heard the songs, I was like, oh, I've heard this in
Yeah.
passing. The one, well, there was a couple. There was a bonus track at the end. It's called The Lakes. That was good. I don't know if it's on the actual album. And then the first track, which is the one,
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty okay. Those are probably my favorite two
Mm-hmm.
songs. Looking at my notes here. Yeah, those
That
were
was it.
probably
Now
those two.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, what is your tradition? Like, typically, what type of music do you listen to?
I listen to all kinds of
Yeah.
music. That's why I was hoping that
Uh
I,
huh.
would like this. I like um alternative,
Yeah.
or what used to be called alternative. I like alt country, like Nico Case is one of my, I love her.
I do too.
Americana, folksy, bluesy, bluegrass, like really all
Yeah.
of it. I can't say, and I love electronica. I
Yeah.
love EDM. Avicii is one of my favorites. And so I feel like I listen to a diverse amount of music.
Yeah.
Brian and I go to a lot of concerts, and our taste is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I like to think that I'm objective. Um, I'm not a musician, but I am a consumer of a lot of
Yeah.
music. So I kind of know what I want. And when it comes to music, I think it's kind of like a taste of anything. Like there's certain foods that a person doesn't like the taste of, just like there's certain, or certain, foods and music are kind of the same in that one person's taste is not
Yeah.
often the other person's, or similar. So I don't like to say like music is bad or good. It's
Hmm.
just not my
Yeah.
taste.
Well, my take was now I remember my wife watched something on Taylor Swift when she was like 12 or 13. She was like
Hmm.
on, I don't want to say it was primetime live, but some kind of
Hmm.
show, and they were interviewing her as a child, like, and how
Hmm.
the sacrifices her family made. But she was just, and this is when she was kind
Hmm.
of about to do country, you know. And I
Hmm.
remember like, not my thing. And a coworker here loved her, and I would give her
Hmm.
shit for listening to Taylor Swift. Karen and I want to say we were on our way to the East Coast to see our daughter who was in the military at the time, and I
Hmm.
was the Bon Iver song, which I love Bon Iver. He did that
I did
Exile,
too.
and so I
Exile,
was like,
yeah.
oh, he's got a song with Taylor Swift. I wonder what that's like. So I listened to
Hmm.
it, and I'm like, oh, I really like that. So I thought, oh, I'm just gonna listen to the album. Karen was asleep in the car, so I didn't have it on very loud. And the one came on. I'm like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then Cardigan, maybe not.
Hmm.
The last greatest American dynasty is like, oh, that's she's telling a story. And so then I Googled it. I looked it
Hmm.
up. She moved in this house. I I started liking it. It is you
Hmm.
got to be in the mood,
Hmm.
and it's listen to 16 songs in a row is too much. You know, I
Yeah.
listening to the whole album is just too much for me because it is different. Like there's something different about it. I think she does a decent job trying to mix it up a little bit, but it's that same style. It's and it
It's a
I got tired
vibe.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah. It's an entire
yeah,
afternoon of, right. I agree. My daughter and I just drove down to Florida for school, and she had the one on her playlist, which also included a lot of very eclectic um, music.
yeah,
So yeah, I totally get that. And the thing I was thinking about was, okay, you kind of have to separate like the music from the lyrics, because
yeah,
I feel like if she wrote this as a book of poetry, the words are great. It's
yeah,
very poetic, but I feel like she tries to cram too many words into the song. Obviously, she's trying to say something very powerful, but it's it's maybe like too much. and
yeah.
and I was thinking like, okay, Christina, don't be so judgmental. Like, what kind of music did you listen to when you were in your 20s? And I listened to, like, I hung on every word that Tori Amos ever sang, and she was very like melodramatic. Her
Yeah.
lyrics were so, like, so I get that. But then, just the music of it all, like, it's mid to down tempo. I'm thinking of songs like Dreams or Gypsy from Stevie Nicks. Like,
Yeah.
those are mellow songs. Those are, but they don't make me want to fall asleep. They're kind of like, okay, this is, you know,
Yeah.
um,
But
they're
at the same time though, she might have written that, and then Lindsey Buckingham did upbeat stuff. So
exactly
you have
right.
multiple writers, multiple singers,
Mhm.
so it mix it up. And you're right. If they were all a bunch of gypsy songs or something like
Right.
that, then we might not feel the same way about it.
Yeah, there was a song on this album, Invisible String. That was another one
Yes.
I liked. I liked it too because there was I could hear other instruments, and it was a little more layered, and there was more fullness to it musically. So I did like that. I felt like you said, all the songs are kind of on that same vibe a little bit, and
Hmm.
this one kind of broke it up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I good. So I would say I liked it. You're saying no, but you know your daughter did, so that's a positive for
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it's not, I mean, if I had, I feel like this is the kind of music you hear when you're drinking a pumpkin spice latte and smelling candles at Home Goods. Like, that's what it
yeah,
reminds me of.
yeah.
It's not. And then I was thinking, if she was playing this music in the concert, is this like bring it all down? I mean, is she, it's
Yeah,
very atmospheric and moody, I would say. It's
yeah,
good background music.
yeah. I think she could go up there and stand there and monotone a recipe of something, and everybody's going to go crazy and think it's the best thing ever. I think her lyrics are very
Absolutely.
interesting. I was listening to the Mirror Ball one, and she's talking about I'm standing on tiptoes just for you. I'm
Hmm.
doing don't leave me type thing, or um, I don't know the invisible string. I love that concept. My wife and I we
Hmm.
met in Mississippi. And when you
Mhm.
think of all the things that had to happen
Yes.
for
Yeah.
us, and that song is kind of about that. I just thought it was very clever, and
Mhm.
some of them I'm not so crazy about, but
Mhm.
yeah, I like it. I have a, in Spotify I'll say like this song, and I have my liked songs
Mhm.
that have like 400 things in it now.
Mhm.
Some of them are in there, because the
Okay.
nice thing about that, you put it on random play, you hear it
You hear all
once
of
a
them. I
month,
love that.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Now I have a question. Then, what
Sure.
album do you want to recommend? That we have some of our younger people who, I don't think we have listeners, but if they were listening, what do you want to recommend?
I think everyone should listen to Disintegration by The Cure from 1989. I had it on cassette tape. I probably wore the cassette tape out from playing it so much. Um, Brian, I remember when it came out. I was a sophomore in high school, and it was just different from what they'd done before a little bit.
Uh huh.
It was more it had more of that electronica sound, so to speak. A lot of synthesizers, a lot of electric drums. And if you listen to it, you have to listen to it really loud or in your
Yes.
headphones. It's
Yes.
like, yeah, but it's again, talk about melodramatic lyrics and just like Robert, I mean, it's so over the top, but I love it.
Okay. So that's the challenge. The Cure's Disintegration. I had the cassette
Yeah.
too. Let's do it all the time as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
all
yeah.
right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you
Thank
doing
you. This
this.
was fun.
Hopefully, everything's going to work out and the sound's going to be there. And otherwise, I might be calling you back.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
Sounds good.
Bye bye.
Bye.